Good morning, this is your Math Sensei, Mr. Sensei, and this is a warm-up, and we're going to be focusing on slope-intercept form. So the first one says, given points -6, 6, and 5, 2, find the slope using the formula. As I've said before, I prefer this formula, so that's what I'm going to use. So my formula is m equals y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And as I've said before, drop the minuses, just put them down there and add parentheses. Just like that. It makes all the difference in the world. Okay, don't forget, this is the first one. This is the first ordered pair, so it's going to be x1, y1. And this will be x2, y2. And we'll just drop those in. So this is 6 over -6. Remember, it's the y's over the x's. And then 2 over 5. At this point, we're going to switch over to Desmos and run this on Desmos so that we can practice that. Go ahead and set it up as parentheses minus parentheses. You'll have to type that in. All right. So as I said, parentheses minus parentheses, this will be for the y's, and this will be parentheses minus parentheses for the x's. So we had on our paper, we had 6, and we had 2, and we get 4. And then we also had -6 and 5. And we get -11. So we have 4 slash -11. And that gives us a really ugly slope. But once again, we can just reduce it down to -4/11. So our slope is -4/11. So m equals -4/11. Please don't forget this is the y's up here and this is the x's there. But this is what we need. All right. Then it says write the equation of the line and slope intercept form. Well, this one's going to be a little bit ugly, but we're still going to do it. We're going to do it two ways. We're going to do it by hand, and then we're going to do it by Desmos. By hand, I would sit there and go, well, I know my slope, so I can plug that in. So I know my slope is m equals -4/11. And I can choose either one of these x's. It really doesn't matter. I mean, either one of these ordered pairs, I'm just going to choose the first one just because it was the first one, but I could have just as easily chosen a second one. So I'm going to plug in 6 for x, 6 for y. So 6 equals -4/11 times, and x happens to be -6 plus b. Okay, so now we can solve that. All right, and I'm going to just grab a calculator to help us out. And we end up with, when we multiply this, we're going to go -4 divided by 11. Oops, not 100. -4 divided by 11, parenthesis, -6. And we get 2.188, and I'm going to turn that into a fraction. So I'll press the math button and then enter twice. And I get 24/11, because essentially I'm just putting it over this over 1. So I have 6 equals 24/11 plus b. If I subtract 24/11 from both sides, I get my answer. So this will go away, and I'll have 6 minus 24 divided by, wow, I keep hitting the 0. So 6 minus 24 divided by 11. And I get 3.818. And if I turn it into a fraction, I can go math, enter, enter, and I get 42/11. So this is b equals 42/11. So my equation is y equals -4/11 x plus 42/11. Now that's really ugly. However, I'm going to show you that we can do the same thing on Desmos. So we're going to switch over to Desmos, but we need to pay attention to these ordered pairs right here, because that's what we're going to be inputting and we'll get the equation. All right, so here we go. Switching over to Desmos. I'll say that. Again. There we go. So now that I'm sharing, I'm going to go ahead and clear all the stuff out that I already had. And I'm going to press the plus button and I see, oh, the table. So I'm going to plug in -6 was my first X, and my other X was 5. And then my first Y was +6, and my second Y was 2. So X1, Y1, X2, Y2, that's what I have in there. I'm going to press this little button here that says add regression. And there it is, 3.818. All right. So that right there gives us our equation in decimal format. All right. So that takes care of that. Stop the share and we'll move on. It says identify M and B and write in slope intercept form this graph. So first off, let's count out our slope. Well, we have 2 big points marked. And remember, slope is y over x. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I went up 8 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, and so we have 8 divided by 12. And math, enter, reduces it down to 2/3. And of course, you could reduce it on Desmos. So my slope is 2/3 because that's what 8/12 reduces to. B, my y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis and it crosses at -2. So B equals -2, and they want it in the form y equals mx plus b. So in this case, our answer is going to be y equals 2/3 x minus 2. All right, next one. Right, what is the equation of the line that passes through the points 12 and -10, 8 and -24? Write your answer in slope intercept form. So we can do this a couple ways. I'm going to go ahead and speed through Desmos, but I want to make sure that we end up with decimal answers because we're going to use Desmos on this. And so I'm going to move back over to the share screen. All right, so hopefully we're at Desmos. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to put the plus sign, click table, and we have 12, -10, and then we have 8, -24. We're going to hit this right here, add regression, and we end up with y equals 3.5x minus 52. So y equals 3.5x minus 52. And I'm going to just show you what I wrote on my paper, then we're going to switch right back to the regression. So y equals 3.5x minus 52. Now, sometimes they won't give decimal answers. All right, sometimes they want this written as a fraction. If they do that, then we're going to need to go back to our formula and go, and by the way, in this case, B, our y-intercept, is -52, and our slope is 3.5. But what happens if they want this written as a fraction? Well, you can go y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2 equals parenthesis and drop in -10 over 12 and -24 over 8. So switching back to our Desmos, And we'll clear that out. We'll drop some parentheses in. Remember the top one is for the y's. So -10. And then we had -24. And then we have 12 and 8. So we end up with 14 divided by 4, which is 3.5. But we can get the reduced fraction by just hitting the button to the right, and we get 7/2. So m equals 7/2. All right, actually, I should write m equals 14/4, which reduces to 7/2. So there it is, 14/4 is 7/2. So if they didn't have this on the test, they might have y equals 7/2 x minus 52. And those are exactly the same equation. All right, the last one on the warm-up. My slope in this case is -3/4, and my b or y-intercept is 7. All right, so if -3/4, please remember it's y over x. So this is 3/4. And by angry man, remember the angry man, those are the eyebrows. We need a downward slope. So down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect our dots. That's our graph. Please remember B is your starting point always. Okay, that's your starting point. All right. Hope this helped. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.